So welcome to this quick guide on how to research and discuss a news story. We'll run through what to look for and then through a quick procedure which you can use for most of your stories to go in and then discuss them confidently in interviews. So just to begin, we'll start by looking at how to find the story. So what to look for when actually addressing the issue of finding the story you want to discuss. And the first point here is having an objective. So having in mind what you're looking for. And you can do this by looking at the law firm you're applying to, for example, by addressing the departments they're particularly strong in. So if they have a very good commercial or IP, mergers and acquisition department, you could specify your research in stories that consider these sectors and industries to show your interest in that law firm. Another point we always suggest is to look at your personal interests, because it's easier to discuss confidently a story that you are interested in, and that will also link to your interest in the law firm itself. So if you are someone that wants to work in a commercial world or in a department that looks at, for example, media and entertainment, you could look at a story that addresses these specific issues and these industries. And thirdly, a very important point, and it's something that I've personally also fallen afoul of during my research when I used to do interviews, is don't stop at the first story. It's very easy to just go on BBC News and find the first story you read and, oh, that sounds really interesting, let's just go for that. It's very easy, but at times, and we think it's very important to do a deeper research and not just stop at that one, because it's very likely you'll find a better story as you keep looking. And by looking and researching, you'll also develop your knowledge. So it's really a win-win situation. Right, so what I thought I could do is show you how we could go through and find the story which we're interested in, and then what to look for within that story. So here we have an example from BBC News. So it's a website that's available to everyone for free, and so you can access it at any time. And we found a story about Disney Plus, which you might have heard about. It's a new streaming service, premium provided by Disney, to compete with its rivals like Netflix and Amazon Prime. Now the story here is that Disney Plus, as you can see, has gained 50 million subscribers in 5 months. Now, if we go down, I've highlighted in different color codes the different points we'll look for. And the first one is the yellow one, which basically looks at the issues and the context of the story, kind of putting the story into place and what's involved, and, just giving an introduction to your interviewer. So, as you can see, we've got how Disney Plus, the service, reached more than 50 million subscribers since it launched 5 months ago. We've also, in the second line, we see also how it announced its last viewing figures in February, in which it had reached 26.5 million subscribers, meaning that here we can see a direct link with the first line to consider how there's been a doubling in the subscriber base. Now, as you can see on the third point, I changed to orange, and this is because this is a point which addresses a trend we'll actually look for in the story. So I'll just put trend there, and this is the meaning that more people are online and stuck in home due to the virus lockdowns, and this directly impacts on the services provided by, for example, Disney Plus and Netflix, meaning that more people will be in demand for these services because they'll be at home and they'll need something to basically pass the time. Then this line in green, I did it just to differentiate it because it's kind of a consequence of what we're seeing in terms of demand, and it's that all streaming platforms are enjoying a huge boost in viewing figures. So we first look at the issue, the growing demand, in respect of the trend in orange, and then look at the consequence. So it's something will then feed into the procedure we'll look at just after this. And as you can see, we've also got in yellow how cinemas are remaining closed and people are forced to stay indoors, which really links both to the introduction part and to our trend right here. We then move on to the second part of the article, and it's a very interesting point which links again to our right here to our orange coding, so our trend. And it's how streaming has instantly become a go-to source for quality in home entertainment. And these services will continue to benefit with a boost in subscribers for a significant time. So people are getting used to it. We're seeing this growing trend, which was already happening actually before the coronavirus pandemic. And the interesting thing you can link here is that this virus and the lockdowns it brought really acted as an accelerator for this growing trend, meaning that streaming services will also benefit greatly in the longer term, even after the pandemic ceases to exist. Now, an interesting point is also here, and it's something that we always stress, it's to look beyond just the basic what you read. It's very easy to just be very descriptive in how to recount a story. But many times in articles you can find very interesting points, such as this one right here, which is about how Disney Plus subscription figures were given a boost in India, where Disney reported 8 million new subscribers. Now, here I've highlighted, as you can see here, Hotstar, and that's because Disney Plus is working with this Hotstar service in India, where the Disney Plus service is offered as part of a premium subscription, so for free for a year. And this allowed Disney Plus to gain overnight 8 million subscribers. So this is a crucial element when addressing how fast Disney Plus has been able to grow, because many other services, take for example Netflix, took 7 years to reach 50 million subscribers, and Disney Plus only took 5 months. And obviously these deals with, for example, Hotstar, allow it to grow very quickly, and it's something that you should recount to prove your understanding of Disney Plus's tactics in the commercial world and how it's planning to grow. Obviously, we've got how shares jumped by 7% because obviously Disney Plus is doing really well. And however, interesting point here is how Disney Plus is still behind both Netflix and Amazon Prime Video in terms of subscriptions, because Netflix, the last time I checked, it had over 167 million paying subscribers, as you can see from here, while Amazon Prime had 150 million viewers. However, big point in the last 2 paragraphs, very interesting here, is that Disney Plus has grown much faster than its rivals. As we were saying, 50 million subscribers in 5 months are impressive figures, and it's something that Netflix has taken 7 years to reach. So, the crucial point here is to refer to this growing trend, also this sub-trend in which Disney Plus really has the potential to gain the crown of the streaming industry. And as you can see in the last line, in this kind of purple lilac color, Disney Plus possesses all the ammunition needed to surpass Netflix. And this last point addresses also the market of China, and how if any American streaming service can gain access to the 1.4 billion people of China, it's Disney Plus. This is both due to its growing ability and how it's able to come up with these deals, as we've seen in India. So if Disney Plus is able to gain this market in 1.4 billion people, obviously you can imagine the huge size it could gain and how it would instantly become the leading player in the streaming industry. So that was a bit how to address the stories and basically how to analyze an article. Now, having that information at hand, we need to find a way to plot it out and actually prepare a plan to then go on and discuss the story in our interview. So as you can see here, we've just got a brief description of what we're looking for. We've got who is involved with Disney Plus, what happened, the subscriber base increased, why, so that relates to the trend. In fact, we're talking about trend here. So both looking at the growth in the streaming industry and the sub-trend in Disney Plus's growth. Issues and solutions, you could weave in some legal issues such as commercial challenges, IP, so all related to this kind of media and entertainment department. And then lastly, looking at the link to a law firm you're applying to the department you're interested in, and showing your interest in that particular law firm, obviously. So here we'll look at the procedure, just to put it all in quite clear and what we're actually looking for. As you can see, this is our basic table. We've got 5 steps we'll look at, and the first one is the issue. So what happened and where. Now this is important to do because you want to place the story into context to show your understanding of, in very brief, it doesn't have to be very long, but just places everything into context also for the interviewer to kind of know what you will be discussing. And here, it's be very quite simple, it's just Disney Plus and how it has gained 50 million subscribers as a growing trend in the industry of streaming can be seen basically. We then move on to the context, which kind of feeds in. These 2 steps are kind of interrelated. And the context step is about who is involved. So obviously Disney Plus, who is impacted. And in this one, you could point out the other streaming competitors and also talk about customers and how they have different solutions in terms of streaming. Just placing the story into context. It's kind of an introductory phase of the interview. We then move on to the third step, which is very important. We always push the importance of talking about trends because it forces you to stop describing the story and start analyzing it, even if you're doing so subconsciously. By linking stories, so by saying this story says that Disney Plus has 50 million subscribers. Now that's merely descriptive, but when we start saying Aside from this, we can see a growing trend in the streaming industry, as proven by the growing figures, which, for example, we've seen a 20% rise in the usage of streaming services. And overall, even prior to the pandemic, streaming services have been growing exponentially, as also identified by a growing number of competitors for Netflix. We then also look at this sub-trend that was mentioned, how Disney Plus has been growing exponentially, really, in 5 months, reaching 50 million subscribers, also through the use of these deals, such as in India with Hotstar. So as you can see, this means that you're proving your understanding of both the story, the broader environment surrounding it, and linking it to other key points, proving that to your interviewer that you have a really strong commercial understanding of what you're discussing. We then move on to issues and solutions. This is an interesting step to talk about both business issues, so how this could affect other streaming providers in limiting their customer base or limiting their profits, and also legal challenges. So whenever we're talking about streaming, we're also talking about IP rights, we're also talking about commercial contracts to grow the platform around the world. So it's very global and international issues, which you could discuss and bring in your own solutions. So how would you address an issue in IP? So how would you prepare a certain contract to have a specific series appear on your streaming platform and stuff like that? So addressing these issues and bringing in your own solutions proves your ability to work as a lawyer, because at the end of the day, that's what lawyers are asked to do. Both be legal advisors, but also business advisors, and provide solutions that are clever from a commercial standpoint. And lastly, we have the link to the firm and the department. So as we've said, if you're applying to a firm that has a very strong presence in media and entertainment, this would be a great story. If you're very interested in that department particularly, even more, because you can directly link what you're talked about and how you're understanding to what the firm does and why you're interested in working there. So you're showing both your commercial understanding and why you want to apply there, proving that you've researched the firm effectively. So it's kind of a win-win, and you're able to address two issues in one clean phase. So that was our video. I hope it helps in understanding how to research a story and then taking all that information into a procedure which we've given you here and looking at how to then discuss it confidently. Obviously, if you have any questions, do not hesitate to contact us at thebusinessupdate.team@gmail.com or through our social media. We'd be more than happy to help you out, and we look forward to hearing from you. Aside from that, we hope you have a lovely day, stay safe, and stay commercially aware. Thank you from the TBU team.